City Assessor of Cebu versus Association of Benevola de Cebu Incorporated, GR number 152904, June 8, 2007. Facts of the case. Respondent, Association of Benevola de Cebu Incorporated, is a non-stock non-profit organization organized under the laws of the Republic of the Philippines and is the owner of Chonghua Hospital or CHH in Cebu City. In the late 1990s, respondent constructed the CHH Medical Arts Center. Thereafter, on April 17, 1998, certificate of occupancy was issued to the center with a classification of commercial clinic. Petitioner City Assessor of Cebu City assessed the CHH Medical Arts Center building under Tax Declaration number 97, GR 0402402529 as commercial, with a market value of 28,060,520 pesos and an assessed value of 9,821,180 at the assessment level of 35% for commercial buildings, and not at the 10% special assessment currently imposed for CHH and its other separate buildings. Thus, respondent filed its September 15, 1998 letter petition with the Cebu City LBAA for reconsideration, asserting that CHH Medical Arts Center is part of CHH and ought to be imposed the same special assessment level of 10% with that of CHH. On September 25, 1998, respondent formally filed its appeal with the LBAA. In the September 13, 1998 order, the LBAA directed petitioner to conduct an ocular inspection of the subject property and to submit a report on the scheduled date of hearing. In the October 7, 1998 hearing, the parties were required to submit their respective position papers. In its position paper, petitioner argued that CHH Medical Arts Center is a newly constructed 5-story building situated about 100 meters away from CHH, and based on actual inspection was ascertained that it is not a part of the CHH building but a separate building, which is actually used as commercial clinic or room spaces for renting out to physicians and thus classified as commercial. Petitioner contended that in turn, the medical specialists in CHH Medical Arts Center charged consultation fees for patients who consult for diagnosis and relief of bodily ailment, together with the ancillary services which include the areas of anesthesia, radiology, pathology, and more. Petitioner concluded the foregoing setup to be ultimately geared for commercial purposes, and thus having the proper classification as commercial under the building permit, pursuant to Section 10 of the Local Assessment Regulations number 192 issued by the Department of Finance. On the other hand, respondent contended in its position paper that CHH Medical Arts Center building is actually directly and exclusively part of CHH and should have a special assessment level of 10% as provided under City Tax Ordinance. Respondent asserted that the Medical Arts Center building is similarly situated as the buildings of CHH, housing its dietary and records departments, are completely separate from the main CHH building and are imposed the 10% special assessment level. In fine, respondent argued that the Medical Arts Center, though not actually indispensable, is nonetheless incidental and reasonably necessary to CHH operations. Issue here is whether or not the CHH Medical Arts Center building should have a special assessment level of 10% as provided under the City Tax Ordinance. The court ruled that yes, Chonghua Hospital Medical Arts Center is an integral part of Chonghua Hospital. The CHH Medical Arts Center is appurtenant to the hospital and thus entitled to a 10% assessment rate. Section 10 of the Local Assessment Regulations provide that real property shall be classified, valued, and assessed on the basis of its actual use, regardless of where located, whoever owns it, and whoever uses it. Actual use referring to the principal purpose for the property to be utilized by the person possessing it. Constructing the CHH Medical Arts Center is expected of and required of CHH since it is a duly licensed tertiary hospital. CHH Medical Arts Center is an integral part of CHH, as CHH is mandated by law to equip itself of the service and capabilities needed to support certified medical specialists in various fields of medicine. The ICCU and ancillary services needed by CHH is the primary function of CHH Medical Arts Center. Verily, being an integral part of CHH Medical Arts Center should be under the same special assessment level as that of the former, and thus is entitled to the 10% assessment rate and not 35%. Thus, applying the above provisions in line with the City Tax Ordinance of Cebu City, the 10% special assessment should be imposed for the CHH Medical Arts Center building, which should be classified as special. Wherefore, the petition is denied for lack of merit.